Alas, Donald Trump. As many people know, Colorado Supreme Court has ruled the way it did, and Trump is off the ballot in Colorado. And the case is going to the Supreme Court in the United States, in all likelihood. And the fact that Donald Trump's off the ballot, I think, is a good thing. But one of the things I wonder about, well, a couple of the things I wonder about is sort of the repercussion side legally of such a ruling. Right now, with the Colorado Supreme Court, they decided that a civil case is more than sufficient to decide if someone committed insurrection or not. And at first glance, I'm sure many people, including myself, would think that seems like a reasonable position. Except that with civil cases, what's the normal threshold? 50% plus one. That's usually how civil cases go in many areas. We're 50% plus 1% certain that such and such a person committed this infraction or this act or this crime. What I think about isn't whether Donald Trump should be on the ballot. What concerns me is if that becomes the precedent, could we wind up in a situation in the United States where other politicians who may have supported, say, certain protest groups that went around and disrupted official proceedings, say at a city level or a state level, in some capacity, even if it was only minor, could those politicians, if they supported those groups and that evidence could be proven at a 50% plus one amount, could those politicians find themselves kicked out of office if other rivals or other political parties or private individuals can prove at a 50% plus one basis that that group that engaged in those violent protests were actually engaged in a form of insurrection? That's what I wonder about. Could we wind up in a situation where Trump is the first domino, but over the course of the next several years, you could potentially have Republicans and Democrats all across the nation find themselves removed from office because they gave aid and comfort to individual groups that a court has decided at a 50% plus one basis committed some form of insurrection, and that politician in question provided aid and comfort to them.